Good day, everyone. Today we'll talk about something that will make your reading easier, faster, and more enjoyable. Context clues. When you read a story or a passage and encounter a word you don't know, don't worry. You don't always need a dictionary because the sentence itself might already have the answer. Let's explore how. Have you ever across a word while reading, maybe in a book, a post, or even a story that you didn't understand? What did you do? Did you try to guess its meaning? I'm sure you did. You probably looked at the words in the sentence or thought about the story was saying. That's already using context clues. So, when you try to figure out the meaning of a word based on the words or ideas around it, you're using context clues, and that's exactly what we'll be learning today. So what exactly are context clues? They are the words or phrases around an unfamiliar word that help you figure out what that word means. You can think of them as hints the author leaves for the reader. It's like being a detective. The sentence is your tease and the clues are hidden in the words around the unfamiliar one. When you learn to look closely, you start discovering meanings all by yourself. So, context clues are very important because they help us become better and more confident readers. First, they help us understand new words easily. No need to stop every time you see something unfamiliar. Second, they improve our reading comprehension. When we understand the words, we also understand the whole idea of what we're reading. Third, they make reading faster and more enjoyable because we don't have to rely too much on this dictionary. And lastly, they help us become independent readers who can understand text on their own. There are different types of context clues that we can use to figure out word meanings. The four most common are: the first one is definition clues, where the meaning is directly stated. The second one is restatement clues, where the sentence repeats the idea using simpler words. The third one is synonym clues, where a similar word helps you understand. And lastly, antonym clues, where an opposite word gives you the hint. So let's take a closer look at each one. The first type is definition context clue. This one is the easiest to spot because the author directly tells you what the word means. You'll often find signal words like is, are, means, or refers to. Look at this example. A habitat is the natural home or environment of an animal, plant, or other organism. You see how the word habitat is immediately defined. That's a definition clue. In this sentence, the definition is already right there. The word signals that the author is giving us the meaning. So when you read a sentence like this, you can quickly identify the clue. It's a definition context clue because the meaning is directly stated. The next type is restatement context clues. Here, the author restates or repeats the meaning of the unfamiliar word using simpler terms. For example, the child was exuberant, in other words, full of energy and excitement as she played in the park. The phrase in other words signals that the sentence is restating the meaning of exuberant, so we know that exuberant means full of energy and excitement. In this example, it's very clear. The sentence is basically saying the same thing twice. The first part introduces the difficult word exuberant, and the second part explains it again in simpler language. That's how restatement clues make understanding easy. Next, we have synonym context clues. Here, the author uses another word or phrase that means the same or nearly the same as the unfamiliar word. Look at this sentence. The room was spotless, completely clean and tidy after Maria finished organizing. The words completely clean and tidy have the same meaning as spotless. That's your synonym clue. Easy and clear. When you see a sentence where one part repeats meaning using similar words, that's a synonym clue. Authors often use this type to make the writing richer while still helping the reader understand. The last type is antonym context clues. This one shows contrast or opposite meaning. You'll often see signal words like but, however, unlike, or whereas. Look at this example. Unlike his optimistic sister who always expects good things to happen, Mark is often pessimistic about the future. The word unlike shows contrast. It tells us that pessimistic means the opposite of optimistic. So, this sentence clearly explains the contrast. Optimistic people expect good things while pessimistic people expect bad outcomes. So, by comparing opposites, the author helps us understand the unfamiliar word, and that's an antonym clue. To sum up everything we learned, context clues are powerful tools that help us figure out unfamiliar words without stopping our reading flow. We learn about the four main types: definition, restatement, synonym, and antonym. Each one gives us a different kind of hint, but all lead us to the same goal, which is understanding the text. So the next time you find a new or difficult word, don't panic. Look around the sentence, find the clues, and unlock the meaning like a true word detective. So, thank you for listening and keep practicing your reading and detective skills.